Hello everyone, and welcome back at today's analysis. As now for the 64th episode, I'm going to analyze none other than Adam Sutler, the main antagonist of V For Vendetta. A tyrannical despot that is hell-bent to keep his power no matter the cost, and Sutler is just another perfect example in cinema of an evil tyrant who is willing to crush anybody who opposes him. As tragically, such people were and still are a reality to today's world, and in this episode I'm going to analyze all the information given about him only from the 2006 film adaptation, as Adam Sutler from the original novel is a complete different character, and so we can better understand Adam Sutler and why he is this way to begin with. And now, without further ado, let's dive in. According to V himself, Sadler used to be the United Kingdom's Under Secretary of Defense and a member of the Conservative Party, before he eventually split it away and founded a party of his own called the Northfire, who promotes English superiority, and more other minded people such as Luis Pontero, who was a military commander during the War on Terror and the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, joined the party. And through Pontero, Sadler will eventually create what he came to be known as the St. Mary virus, in which he will infect the whole England and kill roughly 80,000 people, thus resulting in him winning the 2006 general election and become the next Prime Minister of the UK. And after his victory, the so-called miracle cure was released to the public. They cure everyone from the virus. And as Prime Minister, he proceeds to monopolize his grip on power, as he got rid of the Labour and Conservative parties, and eventually by the royal family itself, and got the British Constitution replaced with the Articles of Allegiance. And with this, he officially managed to take over and turn the entire UK into a one-party fascist dictatorship, with himself as his High Chancellor, and the so-called terrorists that were responsible for what's happened with the St. Mary were executed and a memorial was built to honor the victims. And now, seeing himself at the top of England, Sadler will eventually purge the country from all the people he deems undesirable, such as Jewish, political rivals, disabled, lesbian, and LGBT in general, Muslims, non-Christians, non-Aryans, basically the same kind of people that Hitler persecuted in the Nazi Germany, as they all will be transported to the Larkill concentration camp where they were experimented upon. And he put Pontero to oversee the camp, as well as the local priest known as Anthony Lilliman. Eventually, the experiments will turn into a huge disaster, as by 2010, the entire camp was destroyed by the patient in room 5, the only man who has survived and even showed positive results to the test. But still, Sadler managed to cover up the whole incident, and he eventually appointed an entire Northfire Council, with Peter Greedy as his leader, and he eventually rewarded Pontero and Lilliman for their loyalty to him, as Pontero became the voice of London and proceeds to spread Northfire propaganda on live TV, while Lilliman became the Bishop of Westminster and created a sex agency that brings girls to him. And now, for years, Sadler and his cronies will take over and rule the entire England with an iron fist, killing anybody who opposes him. However, by November 2019, now 13 years in power, his rule will come to be challenged by none other than V, the patient in room 5 who managed to escape from him so many years ago, as he blown up the Old Bailey Cathedral and made clear his mission to overthrow Sadler and the whole Northfire, and he even proceeds to kill many top Northfire officials such as Pontero and Lilliman, as well as teaming himself up with the Evie Hamlin, and Sadler immediately declared everybody associated with V as a traitor. Meanwhile, Sutler tightened his grip on the regime, as he persecuted and arrested and even killed people that he considered they had in league with V. But now, before I go any further, we all should stop and ask ourselves, is Sutler evil? And I do understand the question might seem silly, but it should be noted here that many people in UK are generally agree that Sutler's regime might be some sort of a necessary evil in order to keep the country from falling back into chaos. However, everyone forgets the fact that Sutler is the one who engineered the chaos, so he can justify his rise to power and his tyrannical regime, as all the people and citizens of Northfire officially got completely tired of him and wanted to get rid of him and his tyranny once and for all, hence why almost everybody was agreed to side with V, thus proving that Sutler is nothing more but a hypocrite, a liar, and a diabolical monster, not to mention that he is willing to even persecute and kill his own citizens just to keep his grip on power, finally proving that he is nothing more but a pure evil psychopath who is nothing better than Adolf Hitler. And eventually the answer to the question is ultimately yes, Sutler is evil, and in November 2020 it all finally ended for him, as Greedy betrayed him for V, and he was killed by the very system who gave him power. Only before and afterwards, Greedy and all the fingermen around him were killed by V, who in turn also died to do his wounds, but not before he eventually got Evie to deliver all the bombs and even V's own corpse into the House of the Parliament, blowing it and finally putting an end to the Northfire regime once and for all. So in the end, who was Adam Sutler? He was nothing more but a diabolical psychopath who only wanted power in no matter the cost. A monster that will do anything and sacrifice literally anybody just to achieve his own goals. And a monster that could easily be called as one of the most realistic villains made in cinema. Thanks for watching everyone. Please don't forget to give a like and subscribe and have a nice day.
Means England prevails.